Hello and welcome to Uncommon Success. My name is Jeff Pfeiffer and this is my lovely daughter Rachel.
Hi, we want to share with you our story about how we started the businesses that we started. We are serial entrepreneurs and we want to encourage the listeners, which is you, that you can start a business from nothing without knowing much about an industry. And we will share our stories and also interview other people that we know who also own businesses. We hope this is an encouragement for you.
Hello and welcome back to Uncommon Success. It's been a while.
It's been...
Is it that cold in here?
It's a shame we don't have any heaters or anything.
Yeah,
Owner
right.
of a heater company.
So we're excited to be back with you here. So much has gone on. Sorry it's taken so long. It's been almost 2 months.
Wow. Yeah, so we have quite a few regular listeners to our podcast, and people have been like, where's your next podcast?
Well, of course we do. What do you mean?
I was
Apparently we
surprised.
do.
Okay, so with a podcast platform, at least the one that we use, we cannot see how many listeners we have. So I literally have no idea how many people are listening.
You have no idea, dear.
I really have no idea.
Yeah.
So let's fill people in, I guess.
As
Is
I
that the plan?
travel, okay, I go to restaurants and stuff. People are always recognizing me.
That happened before the podcast. Everybody knows you somehow.
So this is my concern when we decided to do the father-daughter duo thing.
Concern?
My concern that I had is that it's hard to play second fiddle. You know what that means? Second fiddle?
Yeah, so like you're just the backup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like with this, because I'm sort of a natural for filming and stuff.
So you're saying I'm not the natural.
I knew that I'm going to be the star of the show,
Wow.
and I knew this is going to be hard. It's hard to be humble. It's hard to be humble.
Clearly.
Well, I mean, you say you don't. You're surprised people even listen to us or follow. You have no idea. I have an idea. Have you gotten fan mail yet? I knew this would happen.
Is that what's in your hat?
I
Because it's
knew this
really
would happen.
bothering me. There is something in your hat.
Fan mail. I knew it would start to come in.
You're so
And I knew that I was going to get a lot more than her, obviously, for obvious reasons. And it's hard to be humble. And I knew she would struggle. She's younger. When I was her age, I probably wouldn't be able to.
I cannot.
I wouldn't be able to. Okay, oh boy. I wouldn't have been able to handle the fame either.
I just can't even look at you.
Okay, so
I'm going to eat my food. Don't mind me. I'm pregnant and I forgot to eat this morning.
Yeah,
so I'll just let him do his thing. And
well,
I'll
I
just sit back
can't.
and...
You know, we don't have time to read all the fan mail.
No, clearly not.
So, oh darn it!
Okay, one thing about a podcast, you have to speak clearly.
I know.
You can't cry because listeners are not going to understand.
I understand. Remember, I'm
Look
the
at
star.
the fan mail. It came in yeah. They found you somehow.
He personally handed it to me.
So for those of you who are not watching the podcast, you're listening, there is literally a blank envelope.
You're jealous.
It's a blank
already.
envelope.
She's jealous.
A blank envelope found its way to you. Very awesome.
I thought
And you didn't even take time to seal it. I mean,
thought
you
I
did
raised you better than that, dear. That
So-
jealousy is sin. Okay. So I just want to read one. This is a representation of all the fan mail that I've gotten. I mean, it's just I started with just like a folder, and now the whole filing cabinet's filled. So, but this is just one of them, and it says, "Hello, Jeff. My family and I are the." I better get my glasses on here.
Well, you don't need them because you wrote it yourself.
I did not. Excuse me.
So you already know what it says.
He even signed it. Okay, it says, "My family and I think you are the greatest. We watched every podcast you and that girl did." we think her name is Rachel. Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Word. What is wrong?
Every time we watch your podcast, we laugh through the whole thing. You are so funny and smart. My wife thinks you're handsome also. My family can't wait for the TV show Flipping Farms to come out on television. We are your ¡1 super fans. You are the star of the show. And signed Superfan Tom. See that? So So now I knew you'd be a little jealous. I mean, look. Okay, you can only have one star. Okay.
Yep.
But you're like you're a moon, right? You're like the moon.
I'm the moon?
The moon, it reflects light off the sun, and you need the moon to have light, right? So there's nothing wrong with being the moon, and I'm the star. So.
Okay, if you say so.
So.
We'll let the listeners and viewers decide who they like better.
So go ahead and read it for yourself.
P.S. Don't forget to order more hay for the horses. We are almost out. I just got a hay bill for hay.
A hay bill?
A hay bill, yeah, that sounded funny. On my desk.
Yeah.
We already ordered hay, didn't we?
We already ordered hay, didn't we? We always order. We keep ordering hay.
I know.
The
we
horses
keep getting these
eating.
really big bills.
They just keep eating.
So, sorry, listeners. I just chewed in the microphone. That's rude.
Yeah, I would never do that to you.
No.
I would never eat in front of you. Like, I'm not so important that you ever see people like do a podcast or something? They're sitting there with their coffee mug, like they're so, they don't want to be interrupted by drinking their coffee to talk to their super fans. See, I'll never do that. I will never sit here drinking coffee or eating food while we're talking to our fans, because some of our super fans out there, it's not fair to them. Okay? They follow our podcast, and then they're going to watch us on TV. They send us fan mail. We
Okay,
need to show
you-
respect for them.
First of all,
I respect you.
Dad typed this up.
I respect you.
I walk into the office, he's typing, he's like, don't look. And he was doing the content for today's podcast. And I'm still very curious as to what direction this podcast is going. Like, what is the purpose? I'm
She's
not
jealous.
sure.
She's jealous.
So you wrote this letter posing to be one of our employees, which is super silly.
Oh, he's an employee. Well,
Who else would be telling us to order more hay for the horses?
well, it could be.
Your super fan is telling you to order hay? That doesn't make sense.
Okay.
You tried, but you failed.
Okay.
So,
I'm sorry.
You may not drink your coffee or drink or eat in front of your podcast viewers or listeners, but
Yeah.
one thing you do
What's that?
is when we are recording a TV show and we're mic'd up, you look down and burp into the microphone, and our poor audio guy is hearing you burp in his ear. So,
See what's happening is getting to her.
Yep.
Okay, and now she's just going to try. What happens when you feel insecure? You step on the other person to build yourself up, and that's what she's doing. So humility is hard to come by, dear. I understand. Okay, but being a moon isn't easy.
Nope, it's not.
But every star needs a moon.
Okay, I will be your moon.
Okay.
Okay, do you really have a direction for this podcast, or do I need to just move forward with something
Go
else?
for it.
You have no direction, do you? Wow, he told me I got content for today. I'm going to, lead the podcast today, and I think he's just being super silly. There's really, there needs to be a something to talk about. So where have we been the last 2 months? It started off, I think, if I remember correctly, Mom was in the hospital twice, came home on oxygen. So then you and I were doing a lot of caring for her. She can't really go upstairs, so I've been washing her hair for her in the sink. So our lives are changing.
Yeah.
I'm very thankful that I'm able to do that for her. Yeah. Not complaining, just filling you in. Where have we been? So what else?
She was in the hospital over Christmas.
Yes, she was. I was just going to say my family got the flu. So I'm pregnant, as most of you know. Being pregnant and having the flu is no fun because you really cannot take anything. Yeah. My husband and I had it at the same time. He's drinking up that NyQuil, snoring next to me because it's working so well, and I'm just laying there going, this is not fair, this is not fair, I feel like crap. Mm-hmm. So we got the flu. Mom got the flu, which put her in the hospital and really did a number on her. You somehow missed it and took care of all of us. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. That was a huge blessing that you were able to drop off soup for me when I was sick in bed and just take care of us, and then take care of Mom because we were still sick with the flu, so you took care of her. And
running 3 businesses by myself.
Yes, you did for 10 days.
Taking care of my family. Mm-hmm. But that's just what a dad does.
A good dad, yes. Mm-hmm. And you are a good dad. So then what? After the flu, what were the other reasons?
Well, I got sick.
Well, that was the most recent.
Yeah.
Oh, I had a doctor appointment. We were supposed to. And then I had to cancel our last podcast recording because I had a doctor appointment. I lost hearing in my ear when I got the flu. So I had to go for a hearing test and see a doctor, and just to be told everything is totally fine. There's nothing wrong, but I'm like, but I can't hear. So that's fun. So
And
we've,
a couple snowstorms.
yep, the snow really did a number on the driveway.
Yeah.
And our skid loader was down, so we couldn't plow our driveway during the snowstorm. So it made it really hard to go up and down the driveway.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's been a couple 2 months. I think we should maybe drop the big announcement. And that is that you and I got to see our first
Oh.
TV show episode yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Our editor sent it to us, and you and I got to watch it together.
Mm-hmm. That was cool.
And that was so cool. So here is today's purpose of the podcast, as we're just muddling through this
We
with
have a purpose?
no plan.
We have a purpose.
There needs to be a point to listening to our podcast.
Not just to listen to me.
Nope, not just to listen to you.
I think you underestimate all my super fans, dear.
Maybe this is true.
Okay.
So, one lesson that I had learned recently through filming this TV show is once the filming was finished, it went to the editor. So, the first editor had the show for 4 weeks. We didn't hear any updates until we heard there was no update because he didn't touch it yet. So, then we had our producers send it off to a different editor who edited for us, sent us a full episode, and thought it was good, but it wasn't the quality that we had wanted to send to a network. Like, it told a story, but it wasn't our vision.
Mm-hmm.
And you and I were talking a lot through this whole process as we were working with a second editor. Like, what do we like about this? What don't we like about this? How can we make it better? And I sat down and I made notes for every single second. Like, I broke down the whole episode second by second. What would I keep? What would I take away? How would I change this to make it better? And when I was telling you about these notes, I sent you my notes in an email for you to look over. And tell the listeners, like, what advice did you give me at that point? Because it was hard for me to hear the advice.
Mm-hmm.
It was hard to put into practice the advice. But after following through on your advice, it was worth it. And I think that this is something that a lot of people, whether you own a business or you don't, when it comes to making decisions, it was excellent advice.
Yeah. Well, the first two editors, we liked both of them personally.
Very
and
much.
They were really, really nice people, and we
Yeah.
didn't want to hurt their feelings and say that we want another editor. But I said to Rachel, I said, you're doing all of the work of the editor.
I was very involved. The second editor, I was
Second
very
editor.
involved with.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like, why are we paying the person to be the editor if you're doing the editing? And we needed someone who had the vision that we had and let them edit it, because she was working all day at trying to help put together the changes that we wanted. And it's like, that just didn't make sense to me. So I said, it's time to move on and we need to find another editor. So it took the third one to get it right.
But what was the advice? The advice was, you gave the example. Explain the example. If I were possibly going to jail and I had a lawyer,
Oh, that.
that
Okay.
was like, I don't know. For me, it just made a lot of
Okay.
sense.
Yeah.
So explain that
Yeah.
to the listeners. Like, that was so good.
Well, it's like we really liked the editor that was doing it, and we didn't want to hurt their feelings. And the example that I gave was this: if I am arrested for something and I could go to jail for life, and I have a lawyer who's a friend of mine and is a really nice person, or somebody who I don't know but is the best attorney there is, who am I going to go with? Well, I'm going to go with the very best one because I don't want to end up in jail. And I don't want to hurt the feelings of the other attorney because he's my friend.
Right.
And that's what was happening with the editor. Is we didn't want to hurt his feelings because we like him. He's a friend. But yet we wanted to go with what we felt was the best because we may only get one shot to do this.
I mean, how often does somebody send a TV episode to a network?
Yeah.
Not often.
Yeah.
So it needed to be what we wanted.
Yeah. Yeah. And right now we don't, I don't think we share which networks, but
No.
we have two networks that are pursuing us.
That we know of,
That
that
we-
we are communicating
that we're
with.
aware of,
Our
yeah.
producers are doing other
Yeah.
networking too.
That's
So
true,
we
too.
have no idea
Right.
who they're talking to
Right.
right now.
Yeah. So we're really close. So now the first episode, the storyline is edited and finished, and now it needs to go off to sound.
Yeah, so I never realized when I'm watching a show or a movie, when the credits roll, like there's a bajillion names. I'm like, why are there so many names, right? Like, how many people are involved? Well, under editors, there's probably more than one editor. And so the storyline editor, who we have been working with, he did a great job. I'm super thrilled with the episode, and I think it's going to be great. So there's his name that'll be on the credits. But then the next person to touch it is the coloring guy. So when they film, again, I never knew this until we went through filming, but when camera guys are recording our episode, they're not doing it in full color. It's just very interesting. Did you look at the cameras when they were filming?
No.
No, because they were showing me the different, like from their perspective, like in their screen, what they're seeing when they're filming. So it's almost like there's an infrared camera, like if you have a black and white, like a nighttime vision type thing, and then you see heat, right? Then there's red. So I believe, if I understand it correctly, it has to do with the lighting. So depending on how the lighting is hitting your face or something, it'll change your color from green to orange or blue. So it's not in the normal color that we would normally, like normal people filming a home video would see the whole normal color. They don't see that when they're filming. So once they put the storyline together, it's mostly black and white with a hint of color. But then the color editor guy has super equipment. Don't even know how they do it. I just know there's this
movie
machine
magic
type thing that they use to get color.
Okay.
So then he will do the coloring. Then it goes to the third editor, who does the audio and the sound.
Okay.
So there's multiple people touching the show before it's finished. So we were told that we should probably have the finished episode this Wednesday, so it's only a few days away. So
good.
I'm excited to see it in color and with the sound all adjusted.
Yeah. And then we send it off.
Yeah.
To some networks.
Yeah. It's exciting.
Cool.
I mean,
should we have like a big reveal, like all the people who are involved with the process and come and...
So I wanted to contact our local town that's only a few minutes away, has a movie theater that they just renovated.
Okay.
I'm not sure how big it is. It's not very big compared to other theaters. But
like
it looked like, you think that many?
Yeah.
Okay. I have no idea what they charge to run a movie theater.
Yeah.
But I thought it'd be cool to do in our local hometown.
Okay.
Rent the theater out to show the episode for those that were involved, their families.
All right.
And just,
then I'll invite,
all your fans.
I'll invite a small fraction of my friends and so on, and you can invite all of yours.
Oh, okay.
There'll be enough room for all of yours.
Okay. Thanks, Dad. Thanks. That was... okay, so something that's really funny. In the first episode, you and I are talking in a room. There's two guys in the room that are from Ukraine, and they don't speak very good English. The one guy literally just got to America. When we filmed this, like, he was only in America for a few weeks. So his English was very, like, not strong yet. But he could understand a little bit. And at one point, you're like, what's taking you guys so long? I thought you guys would be farther along with installing the floor.
Yeah.
And I didn't pick up on it until I watched the episode a couple times. But he was so nervous, like, looking at it. Because our editor actually was like, that guy was so nervous. When your dad said that, you should watch it back. And I did. And I was like, oh, my goodness. Like, I know your personality. I know you joke around. And I know that sometimes people don't get your jokes.
I get it.
But I didn't realize, like, how much he didn't. Like, he was so worried about what you thought. Because he was just, like, he was looking at you. And then he was looking at his friend from Ukraine who's been here for a while. Trying to see, like, he was trying to read the situation. Like, is he joking? Is he serious? What is he saying? Am I not understanding? I felt so...
But I thought that's when you had said he's just kidding. He's just kidding.
I did.
You told him,
I did, but how much of that does he understand? How much of that does he understand, though? Like, he's from Ukraine.
Nah, he and I, we're good, man.
Well, you're good now, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But, like, oh my goodness, I just felt so bad rewatching that. I'm like, oh, Dad, you got to be careful with who you joke around with sometimes and make sure that they actually know you're joking.
I would like to hear from my super fans on that.
Oh my goodness, will you drop the super fans? You
I...
type that letter yourself.
Oh, I'll get plenty more.
Oh my goodness, okay.
There's plenty more where that one came from.
All right. Well.
Okay.
Where do they send your mail to? Do you have a P.O. box for all your superfan mail?
I actually have my own post office. There's so much of it coming in. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Just send it to Gilbertsville, Superfan, Gilbertsville, PA, and it comes. I mean,
It'll come right back to you.
Everybody
Don't do
knows
that.
who the Superfan is. Everybody knows. Yeah, okay. So there we go. Did we catch everybody up?
I guess.
So the next time we meet, we will be saying this is the network that's picking us up, and this is
Well-
when it's going to air, and
Well. No.
we may not be that
It
close.
doesn't happen that fast, I don't think. I really don't think it'll happen that fast.
Well, once they see once they see
Excuse
once they
you.
see us, I think it'll move fast.
I think it will move fast.
Yeah.
But hopefully we record our next podcast next week and not 2 months later. See, that's the difference.
I know you keep holding us up. All these excuses you come up with. The poor guy, the camera guy that comes and does this. I mean, he was canceled 5 times.
I
Five
felt
times.
so bad
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing he likes me, so he didn't take it personally.
Oh, you know what? There was another time that we had to cancel because you told me you were free, and then you told me that day that you weren't free because heaters had to go out of the warehouse and you had to be there. And
Don't remember that.
Mm,
Come on, Moon. I
Selective
don't remember
memory.
that, Moon.
wow.
All right.
Until next time, thank you for listening to this mumbo jumbo of a podcast. I will come with a script because this is what happens when Dad tells me he's got it under control. Great job, Dad. Great effort, but I'm pretty much gonna say goodbye now, and I will see you in the next podcast.